title, The Gift of Time. Once upon a time, in a quaint Japanese village nestled between rolling hills and a crystal-clear river, there lived a man named Takeshi. Takeshi was an ordinary man with an extraordinary love for time. He believed that time was a precious gift, a treasure more valuable than any material possession. Takeshi was known throughout the village for his unwavering punctuality. He never missed an appointment, and he was always the first to arrive at any gathering. His friends and family often teased him, saying he had a clock for a heart and hourglasses for eyes. But Takeshi didn't mind the jests. He knew the true worth of time. One sunny morning, as Takeshi strolled along the riverbank, he noticed a group of children playing near the water. They laughed and chased each other, their smiles as radiant as the sun. Takeshi watched them with a fondness in his heart, for he believed that time spent with loved ones was the most precious of all. As he continued his walk, Takeshi spotted an old cherry blossom tree by the river. Its branches were heavy with blossoms, and a gentle breeze made the petals dance in the air. Takeshi knew that the cherry blossoms were a symbol of the fleeting nature of time, and he often sat beneath that tree, contemplating the beauty and transience of life. One day, Takeshi received a letter from a distant relative. It was an invitation to a family reunion that would take place in a few weeks. Takeshi was thrilled at the prospect of spending time with relatives he hadn't seen in years. He began to count the days on his calendar, looking forward to the reunion with great anticipation. As the days passed, Takeshi prepared for the trip. He packed his bags and made arrangements to travel to the distant city where the reunion would be held. He couldn't wait to reconnect with his family and create new memories together. On the day of the reunion, Takeshi arrived at the bustling city. He was filled with excitement as he entered the grand hall where the gathering was taking place. He embraced his relatives warmly, and they shared stories and laughter. Takeshi cherished every moment, savoring the joy of being surrounded by family. During the reunion, Takeshi met his cousin Hiroshi, whom he hadn't seen in over a decade. Hiroshi had always been the adventurous one in the family, traveling the world and pursuing his dreams. As they caught up, Hiroshi shared tales of his adventures, and Takeshi listened with awe. Hiroshi said, "You know, Takeshi, I used to be like you, always counting the days and valuing every second. But then I realized that life is not just about counting time. It's about making time count. It's about making time count. I've learned to live in the present and embrace every opportunity that comes my way." Takeshi pondered Hiroshi's words deeply. He realized that while his love for punctuality and the value of time were admirable, he had sometimes let life pass him by, too focused on the future. He decided that he needed to strike a balance between cherishing time and seizing the moments life offered. The reunion continued, and Takeshi made a promise to himself that he would make more time for spontaneity and adventure in his life. He vowed to value every moment, not just for its punctuality, but for the experiences and memories it could bring. As the years went by, Takeshi kept his promise. He still treasured punctuality, but also allowed room for serendipity. He took up new hobbies, explored his village in greater depth, and made more time for friends and family. He found that life was richer when he embraced the present and allowed the future to unfold on its own. One day, as Takeshi sat beneath the old cherry blossom tree by the river, he received a letter. It was an invitation to another family reunion, and Takeshi smiled as he read it. He knew that the reunion would be a special occasion, not because of the time he counted before it, but because of the time he had learned to make count in his everyday life. The day of the reunion arrived, and Takeshi once again traveled to the bustling city. He greeted his relatives with warmth and love, just as he had done years before. But this time, he didn't count the minutes or the seconds. Instead, he embraced each moment, cherishing the laughter, the stories, and the love that surrounded him. As the reunion came to an end, Hiroshi approached Takeshi and said, "Takeshi, you have truly learned the essence of time. You've discovered that it's not just about being punctual. It's about being present. You found the perfect balance. Takeshi smiled and replied, "Yes, Hiroshi. And I have you to thank for that. You taught me that time is a gift, and it's up to us to make the most of it, not by counting it, but by living it." And so, Takeshi continued to live a life filled with love, laughter, and the wisdom to make every moment count. The cherry blossoms by the river continued to bloom year after year, a reminder that time was fleeting but beautiful, and it was up to each person to savor it and create their own meaningful story in the tapestry of life.